Hi friends, welcome back to your channel. Sales is always fun. Today we are going to look at a very interesting topic, which is sales closing. It is probably the most important part of a sales process or a sales cycle. Because if you don't ask for the order, it will not move to the next step. So it is said that on average, it takes more than 5 closure attempts to get an order. So when you ask for the order, the customers come out with their objections. So you will have to look for the hidden objection, like we saw in the objection handling. And the golden rule here is never put pressure on the customer to close. Because once you put pressure on the customer will react very badly most of the times, because buyer will pull back saying that he is being pushed. It is again the same feeling that a customer would like to buy, but then he would not like to be sold to. So the moment you sell, he feels that he is being sold to, he steps on the back foot, he gets into the shell. Probably the relationship has to be rebuilt. It could take some time. And it kills your confidence. It kills your confidence. Because when you put pressure, the customer goes into a shell, then you start wondering, what did I do wrong? Am I good? Am I bad for the job? So don't ever put pressure on the customer. Make sure the buyer feels safe, he is understood, and he is in control. So what does that mean? Is that one, the buyer has to be safe. He must feel confident and say, no, not now, wait, I need some more time. Or I need to get some more details. The customer must be given that, he must feel that he has got the liberty to say that. And what I mean is that the customer should not feel that he is being manipulated. He should never get that feeling. He should clearly know what he is getting for what he is paying. And that he is fully in control. It is he who is controlling what he needs. Well, the sad truth about in sales is that the customer must be ready to buy, but he needs a push. It's like this. You may be in a relationship, you may have a good relationship going, but if it has to go to the next level, somebody has to propose. That's exactly what's happening in sales also. You may be having a very good relationship with the customer, you may talk to him daily, you will be meeting him regularly, you will be doing a lot of exchanges, but if the sale has to come to an end, to its logical conclusion, you will have to push for the sale, because the customer may not push it. Very rarely the customer pushes. So as a salesperson, you cannot afford to remain timid. You've got to be a little aggressive in pushing but then that aggressiveness should not be so aggressive that the customer feels bad. So give it a slight push, and a slight push is needed to close the sale. So before we see what kind of push we give, let's see when we should give the push. This is when the customer is ready. So when the customer is ready, he will start talking about, for example, selling a printer, he will start talking, where can I keep this printer? Or where can I keep this computer? Or who else will be using these computers or laptops? So he will start looking into the future, how it is being used. He will ask you risk mitigation questions like on guarantee, on warranty. He will repeat those questions. And sometimes you will see him repeating some of the questions on some functionalities where he needs a second time clarity. And he will be more talking about the social proof you have given him, saying that Mr. X is using this product, he is happy about it, or Mr. Z is using. So he will start asking you about X, Y, and Z. What are the customers who are using your products and how happy, how sad they are and all that. And he will start talking, if in case he has had a bad experience in the past with your competitor, he will talk about that also now. And when he is ready to buy, he will start asking you personal questions like how long you are with the company and things like that. So when the customer gives you these verbal clues, which means that he is ready to buy from you. And you can also study his body language. Because we remember Albert Maham's theory says communication is 55% in the body. So what is the body language like? When he is okay to buy from you, he is very open, his arms are open, he is very friendly, he is relaxed, and he is very active. He is smiling, maintaining a good eye contact with you, and his eyebrows rise once in a way. So his body and his leg is there standing or sitting facing you directly. He will not be looking at you like this and talking to you. Or his body shift to one side and then he will be straight, direct talking to you. Even eye contact, he'll be maintaining the eye contact most of the time. He will not be looking to the sides and things like that. And he tends to come closer to you. Even when he's sitting in a chair, he would probably lean forward a bit talking to you. So these are the signs that he sits on the edge of the chair leaning forward. So these are the signs that the customer is ready to buy, and now it's up to you to put the proposal. Push it. So what are some of the closing questions you can ask? Like you ask in need payoff, what happens if the problem isn't solved? In next 6 months, 3 months, what will you lose? How much will you lose? What would success look like for you in next 6 months' time? Once you use my product or service, in 6 months' time, what does success look for you? How much is your turnover gone up? How much is your customer satisfaction up? How much is your employee satisfaction up? Depending on the need that the solution is giving. Does this feel right like the next step for you? So once, are you ready for the next step is what you are indirectly asking him. Next one is to ask him, sir, do you still have any questions? He says, anything that I have not cleared. Is anything preventing you from getting started today? Outside investment, is there anything else giving you hesitation? So that you know that the price is not the problem, but something else is the problem. You don't have to go down on price further or negotiate that part at all. So look at the other objection or other issues he has which you can solve. So what would need to happen for you to feel 100% comfortable to move forward? So the customer will tell you this has to happen, or he'll say, okay, let's move forward. I'm comfortable, let's move forward. So which means you can ask him, sir, give me the order. Because you are telling, when you are saying that what makes for you to feel 100% sure means your comfort is more important to me than the PO. So the customer is feeling that he is in control, and he being in control is what I like as a seller. So the buyer is more happy dealing with. Then you say, sir, we don't do it today. So for example, you don't buy this printer today. You're buying it, which means you'll be getting it, you place the order tomorrow, day after, it takes another 3-4 weeks or months to come. So what is going to be the gap during this you are going to lose? Your people will have to walk to another department to take print or whatever it is. So what are the problems that your team will be facing, which means internal customer dissatisfaction? Another important question that before you push in is, sir, is there anything I have not covered that would stop you from making a decision today? Is there anything that I have not covered today, because of which you are not taking a decision? Simple terms. So the customer will come out again open. So by these questions, you are enabling the final objection out of the customer. So let's look at different methods of closing. One is a direct close. Sir, you wanted ABCD. I am giving you ABCD. Kindly give me the purchase order. So you wanted a printer with duplex with less than 10K budget. This is my printer with duplex, less than 10K budget. Can I have the PO? Minor decision close is, yes, this printer should not weigh so much, or some point the customer asks. So moment customer says that, you can tell him, sir, is this all the objection? Can we go forward and close? Then this is another interesting way where customer feels he is in control, is you summarize, sir, this happened so far. So would you like to have product A or product B, or service A, service B? Or would you like to have the service with these features, or service with these? So you're giving customer a choice between two to select. So that he feels he's in control and the choice is made by him. Blank order close is a little dangerous, where just as you keep discussing, sir, give me your address, give me your phone number, give me your GST number, I'm filling the order form, sign. So sometimes it can backfire. many times it goes forward, because when the customer needs a push and which he thinks is not given, this becomes a push. But sometimes the customer is not ready and you try a blank order close, it can backfire. Clean sweep question. Close is another way where have I convinced you to close, or do you need anything else to close? So you are telling, sir, have I convinced you? Have I given you all details? Can I have the purchase order? Or is there anything else that I need to give you to get the purchase order? So the customer is asked very clearly, that is called as clean sweep close. I want the purchase order, you're making it. This is called as a balance sheet close. This is the most scientific and most popularly used sales closure, where you say, sir, this is what you wanted, this is what I offer, this meets your requirement, and comments. Put it in writing. A, B, C, D, E. You wanted A, you wanted B, you wanted C. I am giving you A, B, C. This meets your requirement 100%. So now can I go ahead and supply the material with your PO on hand? Callback close. This is a close where you genuinely didn't have an answer to a question. Customer asked you for something, you didn't have an answer, you are told him, sir, I'll come back to you, or you are not clear at that point, or you had your own doubts. So you now come back to the customer, either you call him up, talk to him, or go back to him. Sir, this is what we had discussed, this is what the gap was, this is how the gap is being filled, this is what the product offers, so now can I have the PO? Final objection close is another interesting close. Sir, any other objection beyond this? If I handle this objection, is the PO with me? If I handle this objection, am I getting the PO today? Simple. So the customer knows that you are in for game to close. And if I answer this problem of yours satisfactorily, will I get the PO? I will think it over close. This is the most common objection when the customer says that I need to think it over. So just tell him, sir, what is it that you need to think it over? What is it that I have not explained to you? Because my friend used to use that very effectively. He says, sir, I can't go back and tell this to my boss. He will tell me that you have not convinced the customer, there is something that you are not convinced. So go back and check with the customer, why is he having this doubt? Which means I have not done my job. So sir, please tell me what is it that I have not done, so that we can work it out. Sharp angle close is again when you are discussing on certain point, you suddenly when the customer you keep discussing, he says one point, you just say, okay, fine, sir. Let's close. I close this. I solve this problem and we close the deal. You make a sharp angle. You don't give him a choice to think, sir, I close this. Don't give him a choice to think for other objections also. You sharply move out, sir. Okay, fine, sir. Let us close this and then we'll close the deal. Similar situation close is something when a customer asks you a doubt. You can tell him, sir, a customer of your kind. He had this problem, this is what we did, this is what we solved. He has gone for the product, now can we have your PO? Similar kind of customer, similar situation is where you're getting at. Now, some of the most important things. Now that you have asked, the purchase order is getting ready, don't open your mouth. The customer is getting the purchase order ready, don't talk at all. If at all you have to talk about the weather, talk about anything in general. Talk about family, talk about all that, but don't talk about your offering. And once the PO is hand, collect the PO and vacate that place. Before vacating the place, what do? Once you get the PO from customer, you thank him, right? Never do that. Why? Because as I told earlier, in sales, it's a noble profession. You are helping customer to solve a problem. So problem is his or yours? His problem, right? You are helping him solve his problem. So what you should do is you should congratulate him on making the right choice. Once you congratulate him, he knows that he has made a right choice. So congratulate him and quietly leave the place. Customer is a busy person, don't disturb him. Congratulate him, take the PO, walk away. Come out of the habit of thanking him. Well, that's the end of the episode. So I'll have to thank you for being here.